2 full-time incomes. 2 adults working hard. Decent salaries. No wild spending. And yet, every month still feels tight. You're checking your bank app more than you want to admit. You hesitate before saying yes to dinner plans. And in quiet moments, there's this uncomfortable thought creeping in. Wait, aren't we doing everything right? Because on paper, this should work. 2 incomes are supposed to mean safety, comfort, progress. But somehow, it doesn't feel that way. And if that reaction made you think, okay, that's literally me, then stay with me. Welcome to Women's Invest. I spend way too much time thinking about how women can build wealth without the overwhelm or fear. If you're someone who works hard but still feels financially vulnerable, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now look, this conversation makes people uncomfortable because it challenges one of the most accepted financial beliefs of our time. That more income automatically means more security. Here's the thing, for a lot of women, 2 incomes didn't create freedom. They created pressure. Let me explain. Go back a few decades. 1 income could cover a home, basic living costs, savings, and still leave some breathing room. Not luxury, not abundance, but stability. Fast forward to today. According to U.S. Census data, over 60% of households now rely on 2 full-time incomes. And yet, nearly half of Americans say they couldn't handle a $400 emergency without stress or debt. That math doesn't make sense at first. More money coming in, but less room to breathe. This is where it gets interesting. Because the problem isn't that women started working. The problem is what quietly changed after. Housing prices didn't rise slowly. They recalibrated to 2 paychecks. Childcare didn't become optional. It became mandatory. Healthcare, transportation, insurance. All adjusted upward to match dual-income households. So what used to be a safety net turned into a requirement. Now imagine a couple earning $65,000 each. That's $130,000 household income. Sounds solid, right? But after taxes, that might drop closer to $95,000. Childcare alone can easily cost $18,000 to $24,000 a year. Housing? Another $30,000. Healthcare, transportation, food, insurance? Suddenly, that great income is stretched thin. And here's what most people don't realize. When you build a life that requires 2 incomes to survive, you don't double your security. You cut your margin in half. If 1 income disappears because of burnout, pregnancy, illness, layoffs, or caregiving, the entire system shakes. This is why so many women feel anxious even when they're successful. Because the risk didn't disappear. It was transferred. And women carry most of it. Now you might be thinking, so what? Women shouldn't work? Should we go backward? No, that's not the point at all. This isn't about women working. It's about women absorbing economic pressure without being warned. Because alongside the second income came something else, invisible labor, career responsibility, emotional labor, caregiving, household management, 2 jobs, plus everything else. Psychologists call this role overload. Economists call it labor substitution. But women just call it exhaustion. And here's the psychological trap. When you're earning, but still stressed, you blame yourself. You think you're bad with money, not disciplined enough, not earning enough. But the system quietly moved the goalposts. Here's a metaphor that helps. Imagine you're running on a treadmill. At first, it's manageable. Then it speeds up just a little. Then a little more. You're still running, still working hard. But the effort keeps increasing while the view never changes. That's what the 2 income trap feels like. More motion. Same place. This is why high-achieving women often feel financially fragile. Because their lifestyle depends on constant output. There's no pause button. So what's the solution? Not quitting work. Not doubling down on hustle. And definitely not blaming yourself. The real goal isn't more income. It's margin. Margin is what gives you peace. Margin is what gives you choices. Margin is what turns income into security. That means designing a life that doesn't collapse if 1 income slows down. It means resisting lifestyle inflation even when you can afford it. It means building savings that represent time, not just dollars. It means valuing flexibility more than appearances. Here's the shift most people never make. Wealth isn't how impressive your income looks. It's how much pressure your life can absorb. A woman with one flexible income, low fixed costs, and options is often safer than a woman earning 6 figures with no room to breathe. And that realization changes everything. Because once you see the trap, you stop chasing validation. You stop comparing timelines. You start asking better questions. What actually makes me feel safe? What expenses lock me in? What gives me leverage? This is where real wealth building begins. Not with more money, but with fewer dependencies. And that's the message I want to leave you with. The goal was never 2 incomes. The goal was choice. If this video made you feel seen, understood, or a little relieved, that's not an accident. That's awareness. And awareness is the first step toward financial calm. This is Women's Invest. We're not here to hustle harder. We're here to build lives that actually feel secure. I'll see you in the next one.